What up, YouTube? Welcome back to a new video. If it's your first time here on the channel, thanks so much for stopping by. Definitely check out some of my other videos. And if you like what you see, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. Y'all read the title to this video, so you already know what time it is. It's pickups time, guys. Catch those pickups vibes. I'm going over the games and things that I picked up throughout March and April 2024. I got some things I want to talk about. It's gonna be a good time. Let's get into it. I figured I'd start this video off with some accessories. I have 3 things to share with you. Now, the first one here, I'm not gonna talk too much about because it's gonna have its own dedicated video. But last month, back in April, Nixie sent me one of their newer controllers. I guess they have a new, there's a new like series of controllers, and they did send me over the Wizard, and I've been using it. And like I said, not gonna talk about it because it's gonna have its own video, so that should be out next week. So my birthday was in April, and one of the gaming related presents that I got this from my son. It is the Xbox Dream Vapor controller. Oh my gosh. She's a beauty. She's a beauty. There she is. I absolutely love this controller, and it's not because of the design. That's amazing. But one of the things that I love the most about this particular controller are the rubberized grips. Oh, it's a game changer. If you guys, I don't know if any of the other Microsoft controllers have rubberized grips, but these grips at the bottom, oh my gosh, they are a game changer. I'm not even gonna lie. The last accessory here, I already chatted a bit about. I made a video all about the PlayStation Portal. If you haven't seen that video, definitely go check that video out. It's where I'm spending the weekend with the PlayStation Portal. I ended up buying the Portal. Oh man, I use birthday money. Okay, yes, my parents still give me birthday money, but I got birthday money and I put that towards the Portal, and it was well worth it. Definitely don't regret purchasing the Portal at all. Here it is. I actually also got a silicone, if you guys, I don't know if it's gonna focus in there, a silicone grip on my PlayStation Portal, and I love it. Oh my goodness, it changes the game up. Plus I also like, it's just black, it's all black. I didn't mind the white, I thought that looked great too, but I like having this silicone on here, texturized. It also came with some different type of thumb grips, and that kind of helps because in that video I was talking about how small the thumb grips were, or thumb sticks. So having these additional grips on there definitely makes things a lot better. This is the first time in a while where I think I have started off with Nintendo Switch games, but we're gonna get into this little stack of Switch titles here. First up is Primal Clock. Now, I've had this on my wish list like to get for a while. Primal Clock is essentially a hidden object game with some detective mystery stuff going on in there, and it has like a different spin on things. It has this whole time mechanic that seems rather interesting. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. I've heard great things about it, so we'll see how this one turns out. One game that I haven't dedicated enough time to is definitely Unicorn Overlord. Now, this came out in the beginning of March, and I'm sorry, March seems like so long ago. Even though it was a couple months ago, it feels like it was ages ago. I haven't spent enough time with this. I played like about an hour of it, and then I went back to one of the backlog games that I was playing and completed that, and then never came back to this, and I absolutely will. It's a strategy RPG, tactical a little bit, definitely a lot of it, with it put out by Vanillaware. So I love Vanillaware. I think their art style is absolutely fantastic. I love their art style, is just great. I love their games. I also love the food that they put in their games. Always looks delicious. I don't know if Unicorn Overlord has food, but hopefully it does, because then it'll keep up with that whole Vanillaware theme. You know what I mean? Anyway, I will go back to Unicorn Overlord. What I played of it, I really enjoyed from the first, I didn't play the demo. So essentially I'm assuming that I was like playing the demo. but I am going to go back to this. Definitely want to sink my teeth into it. This is something different for me, even though I do like Fire Emblem games. This is strategy games for that matter. Strategy RPGs. I don't mind strategy RPGs, but I'm not always the best at them. So we'll see if Unicorn Overlord can teach me how to be great at strategy RPGs. I was so happy when I found out that we were getting Touch Detective. Touch Detective is back. This is Touch Detective 3 plus the complete case files. Okay, so this is Touch Detective 1, 2, and 3, all on one Switch card. I might be one of the only 10 people that played Touch Detective on the Nintendo DS and really enjoyed it. I had a blast. I remember that game being like goofy and silly and making use of, really good use of the Nintendo DS, the touchscreen and everything. It's a detective game. You play as a little girl. She has a mushroom sidekick who's super helpful. Just quirky, weird characters. I played through the first case and I gotta say, it was fun. I really enjoyed it. All three of these games have been like spruced up. They look good, they play well, but I feel like it loses a little bit of its spark because that first game was so focused on like the touch screen of the Nintendo DS. And while the Switch, you can use touch, you know, whatever, it's not precise. I don't know. I'm not out here with my Nintendo Switch and a stylus. I don't have a stylus for my Switch. Do you? I don't. Yeah, it just feels like it lost a little bit of that spark. And it feels like it hasn't aged as well. It also comes with a few other things. It does come with like a virtual art museum for like the game art. And I thought that was really cool. You can see how like the art had progressed throughout the games. And that was neat. It also comes with like a comic book. I don't know. I like it. You get 3 games for the price of one, and not even a full price one, because I believe this was like a $50 game. I picked up a Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's what this is. I picked this up based off of a recommendation from Fem Trooper. I think it was like one of her 10 out of 10 Switch games, and she was raving about this game. I was like, oh, I gotta try it out. Open world, RPG, action, fighting, whatever. Let's do it. And I've played quite a bit of this game, and I gotta say, I'm digging it. So I was walking into this absolutely green. I know nothing about Dragon Ball Z. Now I played a Dragon Ball game on the DS, I believe it was, and that was fantastic. That was so much fun. I can't even remember the name of it, but it was great. But I don't know anything about Dragon Ball Z. And my husband loves Dragon Ball Z. He grew up watching Dragon Ball Z with his brothers. So we were laying in bed one night and I was like, all right, I'm gonna try this game out. He's watching TV. I'm laying in the bed next to him and I'm like, pull my Switch out, have this up. And he's like, you like Dragon Ball Z? I'm like, I don't know if I like Dragon Ball Z. I started playing it and he instantly knew what was going on. I'm guessing that this game follows the story. This storyline, I don't know, but he knew what was going on. And this isn't a new game, all right? It's been out for a while, but open world environment. But then when you get into little instances with enemies, it turns almost into a fighting game. And I don't really play fighting games like that. But it's easy enough for me to pick up and play and be like, wow, it feels like I'm doing something. You know what I'm saying? It feels like I'm powerful and I'm taking down the craziest enemies, craziest people. It's a blast to play. Goku's basically on a mission to find his son Gohan, who had been kidnapped. But then he was rescued by Piccolo. I think it was Piccolo. And then Piccolo put him off into a forest for him to basically train and see if he could survive. It's a thing, y'all. Oh my gosh. Woo, it's a thing. I want to know what happens next. It kind of plays out like an episode of a TV show, of an anime, which I really dig. I feel like I'll be done with this within the next week or so, but I need to know if there's another game that plays like this because I really enjoy it. The last Nintendo Switch game that I picked up over the past couple of months, Princess Peach Showtime. Now, it's a little unfortunate. I don't have terrible things to say about Princess Peach Showtime, but I also don't think this is the best thing ever, right? It's totally mid. You know what I'm saying? Like it's an okay game. It's all right. Now, my expectations weren't super high just because I felt like I didn't know what kind of game Princess Peach Showtime was going to be. I don't know if I was alone with that. I don't know if you guys saw the trailers and instantly knew what type of game you were getting yourself into. I kind of figured it was going to be more along the lines of like Kirby. And it kind of is like that, although I prefer Kirby games over Princess Peach Showtime. Yeah, if there is ever a game that, makes me think that it's absolutely time that we need a new Nintendo Switch, a successor to the Nintendo Switch, it's definitely this game. This game chugged. And I'm not necessarily sure why. I don't know why. It doesn't seem like, it's a beautiful looking game. It looks good, but it doesn't seem like it's graphically intense. I don't know, but it chugged. Okay, frame rate all over the place, especially during cutscenes. Now, it didn't hinder, the way I played the game at all. It didn't, bother that at all. But it was definitely noticeable. I like the whole concept of the game, though. I love the fact that Princess Peach is in this theater and each level is kind of like an act of a play. And of course, she has her different costumes that she changes into that gives her different abilities. Now, some of the abilities I didn't really like all that much. Like the whole spy, I think it was spy, and the detective one, I didn't really like all that much. But yeah, Princess Peach Showtime, it's okay. One weekend in April, I was on Twitter and I was just scrolling and I saw someone shouting out Mother 3. It's like the 18-year anniversary of Mother 3. And I was like, my gosh, that's wild. Now, Earthbound has been a game that I've always wanted to try out to play. I just haven't gotten around to doing it. It's been on my backlog for ages, right? And I really want to do that. That got me going down, this post got me going down a rabbit hole of which game should I play first? What's accessible? Of course, Earthbound is a part of the Nintendo Switch Online, right? That catalog, that library. So I was like, I can easily play that. I was like, what about Mother 3? Should I play that? Mother 1, what beginnings, whatever it is. Got me going down this whole rabbit hole. And I ended up going on Etsy and picking up, is it gonna focus? Focus! There we go. Picking up a copy of Mother 3. This is the fan translation, English translation, repro card. I've never purchased one of these before. I was a little hesitant. I was like, I don't know what to expect. But it works. It got here seamlessly. I popped it into my analog pocket and it booted up and looks great. So I think sooner rather than later, I owe it to myself to play Earthbound. It's gonna get done. I just might add that to my list of games to play for this year. I don't know if you guys watched the Fallout TV show, but I most certainly did. I watched it with my husband, who absolutely loved it. He loved the show. I recommended it to my son, who plays video games, but he doesn't play Fallout. He's enjoying it. He's watching it now. He's enjoying it. I recommended it to my dad. He hasn't gotten around to watching it yet. But that show is really good. A lot of you probably watched it too because it's already been renewed for season 2. Great numbers, really good numbers. Yeah, that got me, we were just talking about rabbit holes. That got me thinking about, okay, time to play a Fallout game, right? So Fallout New Vegas is a game that I never really played and completed. And I went ahead and installed that on my Steam Deck and I started playing that. I'm currently playing Fallout New Vegas. I put some time into Fallout New Vegas and I'm really enjoying it. This particular game I had back when it was released and played a bit of it, not too much, definitely didn't complete it. But I said, you know what? Let me order it from GameStop. let me order it online from GameStop. And this is what I got. Copy of Fallout 4 with this bootleg case. Oh my gosh, do y'all see this case? I can't. GameStop, do better. Now, as much as I want to bitch and moan about this case, it's really bad. I'm gonna be chill because the disc is in immaculate condition. The disc looks great. Okay, looks like no one even played it. No scratches, no smudges, no nothing. So, you know, I can replace the case. Not a big deal. But damn, GameStop, really? I did pick up Dragon's Dogma 2 based off of a recommendation from one of my girls on Twitter, Ilya. She was like, she sent me a DM and she was like, Steph, have you picked this up yet? I was like, nah, not yet. I was gonna wait for a sale. She was like, I think you'll really like it, you know? And I was hesitant on picking up the game because I didn't play Dragon's Dogma 1. So I was like, let me see what the story is like first before I get around to the sequel. But it seems like, you know, the story doesn't really go hand in hand. They don't, you know, who knows? I haven't played much of it since I got it. I picked it up a couple of days after we DM'd each other, and I streamed it for like 2 hours. But I really enjoy it. I do. It's a fun action, open world action RPG for the most part. One thing that threw me off with this game, and I don't know if the first game has this issue as well, but the fact that there's no like target mechanic, like you can't like target a specific, like you can't lock on to an enemy. I'm confused. Why can't you do that? It makes things feel a little weird. I don't know, but I've played it for 2 hours and I definitely will go back to it. Just was in the middle of other games that I finally completed, and now I'm in one long game right now. It's going to take me a while to finish, but I will go back to this and play through it. Again, heard nothing but good things. I feel like I don't really need to talk much about Cyberpunk 77, but this is the Ultimate Edition. I ended up picking this up. I originally had like the vanilla version when it came out. I had it on the Xbox, and I played a little bit of it, experienced a little bit of bugs, like nothing game breaking at all. But I said, you know what? Let me hold off on it until they patch this up, make things right. And it took them a while, but CD Projekt Red, they came through. They came through and patched the hell up out of this game. I haven't played this yet. I need to get through the game first, the first game, or not even the first game, the original game, before I even hit the Phantom Liberty content. Heard Phantom Liberty, that whole DLC in general is fantastic. So yeah, got the Ultimate Edition. This is Ultros Deluxe. I picked this up because it looks super interesting. Haven't had a chance to play it yet though, but it's a Metroidvania with this really crazy looking art style that I find like just so intriguing. It's almost like it's set in like this psychedelic world, like the colors just like pop. The world looks so crazy. I don't know what's going on, but I know as someone that enjoys Metroidvanias, I know I need to play this. I don't know, have you guys ever even heard of this game? And if you have and you've played it, let me know if it's good. It just looks great. It looks awesome. Stellar Blade. Now I've been streaming this for the past couple of weekends. I'm enjoying my time with it. This game had so much controversy surrounding the release of the damn game. Like honestly, like people were going banoodles because of how sexy the main character is. I don't even want to say how sexy. I more or less want to say, apparently there is a skin, one of the cosmetic skins that you can get for Eve, who is the main protagonist in Stellar Blade, is the fact that she's naked. Okay. Now let me start by saying Eve is not, at least I believe Eve not be like a real person. She's more or less of like an android or a robot, something of sorts. Yeah, so that's where the controversy came from. The fact that you can put like a naked skin on this sexy woman's or a sexy android's body. Now, I can fully understand people not wanting to support the game because they feel like it's sexualizing a woman or an android, whatever. But I understand that. I get that, and I'm not mad at it, right? What I find weird, though, is the fact that people get so upset about something that is in every single other piece of media that we consume. We're talking, movies, not so much television, but movies, you see naked people, right? Hell, games. I just showed you Cyberpunk 2077. Didn't they have something where like you don't have to put pants on, like, and you can, even in the character customization menu, I feel like you can customize the genitalia. I don't know. Am I tripping? I feel like that was a thing. Were those games or movies, for that matter, boycotted? Were people in such an outrage that I don't know. It's just weird to me, y'all. It really is. If you like something, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And I understand getting upset about things, but I just feel like some things aren't worth all the hype. They're not worth it. That's just my piece. Stellar Blade kind of plays, for me, it feels a lot like the Star Wars Jedi games, and then also like Liza P. It almost feels like it's a Souls-like game, but it's not. And that's probably the reason why I'm able to still play it. It's not incredibly hard. Not gonna lie, it also kind of gives off like a Bloodborne vibe to it. I don't know if it has to do with like the way the creatures look, but it's definitely, and just the environment in general, it's definitely giving me Bloodborne. I'm gonna keep going with Stellar Blade. That's gonna be a game that I complete soon. I'm terrible at parrying. I'm trying to get better. I'm good at dodging, but parrying, I need to work on. But I put some time into the game, and I'll continue to put time into the game because I'm enjoying it, and I'm not paying all that much attention to Eve's body. I don't know. That's just me. The last game that I want to talk about here, I actually purchased back in February, but I forgot to add it in that last pickups video that I did. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I did get it from Best Buy, so I got the Steelbook, which is lovely. I purchased this back in February, and I didn't start playing it right off the break because I was playing Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. And now I am focused on Rebirth. I'm currently in chapter 7. Okay, and I think there's 13 chapters. I am loving this game. I knew that I would because I enjoyed Remake so much, but I love Rebirth a lot. Part of that is because I like open world games, so it gives that whole open world vibe to it. Now, in each open world section of the map, I guess you do have some things that you can do. And while it can feel a little bit repetitive when you get to new areas, you're doing the same thing for the most part. I still enjoy it. I love it. I don't know. I've been reading a lot of articles and hearing on podcasts and stuff when people are going over the news section, talking about how people haven't played. I mean, this game Rebirth hasn't sold as much as Remake, which is crazy to me. It's crazy to me. This is a fantastic game. So far, I can say it's better than Remake, and I'm not even done with it yet. Gosh, it's wild. What's going on with Final Fantasy games? I played proper Final Fantasy VII on the PlayStation years ago, and I don't know how Rebirth is going to end. I can only assume how I think it's going to end before we get to that final part of the trilogy. But I am invested. I want to do all of the side stuff. Queen's Blood is cool. Really like Queen's Blood. Wish I was better at it. There's just so much going on, right? Never know what you're gonna get with Queen's Blood. I'm just not good at it. But I like it. What else? Like all the side quest stuff I've been trying to do. I'm just trying to get everything out of Rebirth that I possibly can because I'm enjoying it so much. Barrett's my guy, always has been, always will be. I love Barrett. A couple of things just keep bringing me back to the game. It's definitely the gameplay, just how fluid it is. It's strategic, fast paced for the most part, but you can slow things down and take a different approach to it. Again, exploring the open world and just the story, like the presentation in general. This is a AAA game. Like AAA, everything from the visuals to the soundtrack. Don't get me started. Oh my God, the music in this game, phenomenal. These songs in this game, just the way that they're arranged, so amazing. So yeah, I'm enjoying my time with it. I'm gonna keep playing it. I'm gonna see it through, and it'll probably make my list of favorite games for 2024. It's that good. All right, guys, so that's everything that I picked up throughout March and April. Let me know what you picked up over the past couple of months, and if you've played any of the games that I just shared with you here, let me know what you think of them. Of course, I want to thank everyone for watching this video, and I'll check you next time. Peace.